I would like to start by wishing all the lovely women today a very happy Women's Day. Thank you for this opportunity to be sharing my heart out on how Swasthya has been a game changer in my life. To introduce myself, my name is Sindhu. I live in Bangalore with my husband, two kids, my dog. I'm an IT professional with 13 years of experience. I work as a SAP consultant. Along with that, I am proud to say that I am a coach with this esteemed community called Swasthya. Right? Back in 2018, I had my own health issues. I was struggling with post pregnancy weight. I was a new mom. I had thyroid, and I was clueless on how I'm going to fix my health issues. That's when, thankfully, Swasthya came into my life. And I worked with my coach for 1 year to reverse my thyroid condition, to get rid of all the unnecessary weight, and I could become the best version of myself. How many of you would believe that there is a lot of motivation when we are on a program, when we are trying to lose weight? But the moment you think about how am I going to maintain this weight, that's a bigger challenge, and it's uh, a scary thing. It was a scary thing for me. I was looking at options on how I would be able to maintain all the health that I have gained. Even over the 1 year that I was working, thankfully I had my coach who was helping me on this. But now what after the program is done? So that's when my coach brought out an important point that, do you remember the tagline of Swasthya? If you all watch the first video today, what does it say? Together, it's easier, right? My coach told me that there is an all-woman club called the Tribe of Supers, where women are not just working on their health, but finer aspects of life. I was very interested. And I still remember the first time when I walked into a Tribe of Supers breakfast, I was so confused and feeling lost, thinking, I hardly know anybody over here. But I walked out of that breakfast with a feeling that I met a circle of women who are not perfect, who are far from perfect, but are gracefully embracing their imperfections and are willing to learn and grow. And there were four main areas of focus. The first one being health. See, I am a health coach today. So you might think that as a health coach, it's important for you to stay healthy. But yes, that's true. But we are human beings. Life happens. Priorities change. And especially as women, we have a lot of things to juggle on our plate and we tend to slip. But one meeting with the Tribe of Supers, it helps me realize that it's okay to slip, but what's more important is to come back into the game and reprioritize your health and wellness. And the Tribe of Supers was not just a place where I was taking inspiration from others, but I also got opportunity to be an inspiration for somebody else when I shared my small wins. The second area of focus was self growth, that too through reading books. To be very honest, the only books that I read was academic books for the sake of it. Of course, after becoming a coach, I did read to get the right certifications, but self-help books were not something that I had voluntarily picked up. But I was amazed to see that in the Tribe of Supers, these women were using books as tools to overcome everyday life situations. And let me give you examples on how picking up that habit of reading has helped me personally. First book I would tell is that a few months ago, there were situations at home were a little rough with other family members, and it was taking a toll on my mental well-being. And I'm sure all of you would agree that it starts showing in different areas of life. You are more cranky, you're passing it down to your spouse, kids, you're not performing your best, you get into a self-sabotage mode. It was just trying to kill me. But that's when I was told about this book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And trust me, I could not avoid the stress that had come into my life, but I found a way to maneuver it in a better way. That tool was very helpful for me. The second book that is deeply personal to me is How to Talk So That Kids Listen. It is helping me on my parenting journey immensely. Another book that has a sweet space in my life is the book Magic. It has showed me how I should be looking at the positive side of life rather than brooding over things and being grateful for all the good things that we have and attracting more in abundance. So reading became a habit just for me, but for my husband and my family as well. My daughter picked up reading at the age of 6 years, and I did not do that at that age. And I'm so glad that my daughter has done that today, and she's in an environment where she's able to do that. The third thing of focus was relationship, especially with the spouse. Right? So usually when women get together and the topic is husband, not positive things come out, right? Usually. But here I learned that how I can communicate better, be a better listener, on how I can put my efforts to make the relationship better. And a direct impact of that is that every month, since a few months now, me and my husband sit together in the beginning of the month to retrospect about how the previous month was. In terms of our relationship, things that made him feel special, things where he expected me to behave differently, or I would have expected a different kind of a response or a different kind of a support. And we are able to have this discussion openly, give feedback to each other without hurting each other's ego or having any kind of judgment. This was not something that was happening earlier in my life. And thanks to the TOS learnings, we're able to do that and implement that today. The other area of focus for women is the environment we live in, right? It could be our kids, our maids, our in-laws, and so many things, our bosses. These definitely, one or the other, takes some limelight in our life every time, right? How being in association with all these girls, all these women in Tribe of Supers, and listening to their stories, it has helped me change my perspective from becoming a person who is brooding over a situation and feeling overwhelmed that, okay, things are not in my control. But instead, how can I be a problem solver? It has changed my perspective to accept changes in life and plan for the new changes instead of just thinking about this is not in my control. What do I do? Or I would just get carried away earlier. That has not been happening. And it is helping me in all areas of life over there. Now, TOS not just was a club for me, but it became a lifeline where I was learning a lot of things that were helping me personally and professionally. Most of you women might say that, see, the woman is only making all the adjustments. She's only understanding. She's only trying to improve herself to make relationships work at home. She has to manage things around her. But I firmly believe that it's just not a one-sided game. To clap, you need both hands. And the spouse should also be equally involved in making sure that the family runs in a certain way, right? Thanks to a men's only club that Swasthya offers, that's called the Band of Brothers, right? And because of bands of in the Band of Brothers, my husband enrolled into it voluntarily. He has signed up to work on his health, on his self growth, to the same means that we girls are trying to do, but more importantly, relationship with me, right? You remember the monthly meeting that I talked about? It did not happen just because I wanted to do it, but the BOB teachings were also such that both as a couple need to work on that to make the family unit work. And that is how we are able to have those conversations with each other. And I credit all of that, a very happy home team, to the learnings from BOB. And I had a recent validation for this. I'll tell you. Recently, there was some argument. We had to go to an event, and because of the argument, we could not attend the event. And I was just giving the explanation to my dad that so and so happened, and we could not attend the event. And my dad was asking, "Do you guys also fight?" It was a surprise. I thought you guys never fought. And I think, Dad, we don't fight, but we do definitely have a healthy argument. And the point is, we argue to resolve the conflict rather than carrying it over to the next day so that we all can have peace of mind. So I felt really good that that's what my parents think about me on how I am handling that relationship. And this did not come naturally to me. It is from my environment, something that I have to be very grateful to TOS and BOB for. Another thing that the men are taught to focus on, be conscious about, is financial, not just expenses, but finances. So usually in a household, the men take care of all the finances, most households. And the women, if they ask about it also, the men will say, you wouldn't understand. Personally, finance is not a stronghold for me also. I will earn, but I do not know how I can use that money better to work for me. In the BOB, the men are encouraged to make better financial decisions as well as have a transparency with the spouse. Now, with this transparency, when my husband is discussing with me about certain things about our finances, I feel so empowered. I feel good that even I am aware of this, though it is not my stronghold. And I don't see that commonly happening in other households when I discuss with my friends and peers. So thank you, BOB, for that. Now, the man of the house is sorted, the woman of the house is sorted. What about my kids now? So I have an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old. And thanks to this wonderful program called League of Young Leaders. So Tanvi has been on this program since she was the age of 6 years. And to tell you, I'm in awe of the person that she is growing up to be. So today, as a mom, I am worried about the influences that are on my daughter. It could be social media, it could be YouTube, it could be people she meets. I am consciously trying to think about, is she getting the right things? Is she getting influenced by the right things? Thankfully, LYL has brought a kind of a discipline or a discipline into her life, and it is giving her a way of learning that she can uh, uh, that she's molding into a better person. It is helping her pick up habits that is building her character in the right way, how we want her to be raised. After enrolling to the LYL program, I have already mentioned that reading has become a very common thing in our house. It started with reading storybooks. Now she has progressed into books of knowledge and value and things that are helping her explore different areas that she doesn't know. Before LYL, she would take up classes, let's say drawing, badminton, but she would give up very easily. But as part of the LYL, she has signed up for some committed activities. For her, it is her badminton and Bharatanatyam. And I am so amazed to see that because she has committed to it, that girl will attend her class, will practice her committed activities, even when it's not a great day for her. This kind of self-drive and motivation, I do not see in other kids of her young age. And I'm so glad she's in that association. And I can feel confident and feel safe because her role models, her 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 own friends or people or kids of her same age who are overcoming or working on the same areas of LYL. What a great place to be in for parents today. And she helps me. She's so kind. She helps me in her household, my household chores without being asked to. Uh, she does not demand for unnecessary things. She's started even finance as a concept of learning in the LYL. So she understands that these are things that cannot be just demanded for her. It's not a right for her, and she has to earn it the right way. So these fine aspects truly make me feel that she's on the right place. But LYL has not just helped Tanvi; it has helped me and Narayan also as parents. See, as a very two different people with two different personalities, our style of parenting was also very different. But what LYL did for us, it gave us a framework to come into common grounds for both of us, because having different styles of parenting was confusing the child. Now that we are in agreement and we have a same single framework that we are all aligned to, it is helping us mold our child in the right way that we want to, and we are able to have more meaningful conversations and discussions in the house because of that, and how we are able to see that in our child on how she is molding herself into. Not just my daughter, my 3-year-old has picked up stuff looking at his sister and the habits that we follow at home. So as a family, we try to do an activity every night before sleeping. So we think about the best thing that happened in the day, and we say a note of thank you to God for it. So he had been observing us, telling the best thing about the day and sharing gratitude. And he sweetly surprised us recently by telling that uh, I had a great day at school and I did not do susu in daycare. Thank you, God. Susu in daycare might sound funny, but it was a thing that we were trying to help him overcome or work on it. But can you imagine a 3-year-old understanding that it's gratitude, that is a win for him and the whole family, and expressing it? Which 3-year-old would understand gratitude and express it? I don't think it happens commonly in houses. And I had tears in my eyes when he said that. That's something that I cannot pay money for anywhere and get it, right? My day, in our house, the day starts with positive affirmations, and we end our day with uh, notes of gratitude. I don't know in how many houses this happens, but it for sure happens in my house. And I feel blessed to say thanks for having the Tribe of Supers, the Band of Brothers, and the League of Young Leaders in my life. That is that is giving me this touchwood, a family that is worth anybody would crave for. If you all have observed the 6 pillars of well-being of Swasthya, you would know the first 4 common ones, right? Food, exercise, stress, and sleep. Then there are 2 more, something called as belongingness and environment. So these 2 are very vague terms. Usually we tend to ignore it or say, what would it be? Okay, maybe it's like, okay, I'm working out with a group of friends. But Swasthya has really given meaning to these words by creating that environment for us, by providing these associations where we can learn, grow, and experience true wellness. And I really thank God from the bottom of my heart for bringing Swasthya into our life and these amazing people that we get to meet, learn, and become better versions of ourselves. Thank you. Back to the host.